Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine, weekdays 6 till 9 Central African Time on Channel Africa.
At 14 minutes past 6 Central African Time, let's take a look at some of the stories making headlines in the West Africa region. As you know, every day we focus on an area on our African continent in terms of what you need to know. We're joined on the line by political analyst Dr. David Matsanga. Dr. Matsanga, how are you on this Wednesday?
Very well, and a good morning, Africa, across the continent. But this continent is amazing.
Okay, there we are. Now I found you. I think I wasn't connected properly. Yeah, I thought I was already in. Okay, well, thanks for making time. It's always great catching up with you on these important stories. Let's start in Mali, Doctor, where the junta leader there has gotten backing to serve as president for the next 5 years. What contributed to Colonel Assimi Goita securing power until 2030?
Thank you very much. First of all, I have been to those countries, as I told your station last week, 6 times. I've gone into Mali. I've compared the development, the economy of a civilian government, which was there before, corrupt, inept, with this current government of the captain who is in power. If you look at the things, the streets in Bamako, things are changing. You feel that you are somewhere in Africa. You want your money, you change it. You want to change money to go outside, you have no hassle. So the people of Mali have seen. You look at the fight against terrorism, insurgency, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the guys doing it. You look at new Land Rovers, medical equipment arriving, as with doctors seated in going to drive into villages. He's doing it. Now, surely given the situation that he's doing what he's doing in Mali, who can refuse a service? You are looking for democracy, which you don't understand what it means. The only country in Africa that understands democracy is where you are.
South Africa.
You still understand democracy. You vote and go home. Some countries in Africa don't vote and go home.
So, Dr. Matsanga, would you say that this then further entrenches military rule there in Mali?
No.
And therefore...
I am not saying so.
Okay.
I'm not saying I want to call upon the military, but we have to be... You see, one of the problems that Africa...
But does, my question, Dr. Matsanga, is does it not then make almost a favor of military rule over the promise that was earlier made for civilian rule and democracy?
I am telling you, we have to review the chapter. The Charter of African Union must be reviewed. A good military government in Rwanda, for example, has worked and made the country very proud. Is there any problem there? Is there any problem there? A good military leadership in Burkina Faso is building roads, schools, hospitals, water pipes. Is there a problem there? We should accommodate these younger men. As people who have been there, who saw the charter in 1963, some of us were born. Most of you were not born. We should change the charter. What do we do to a man who has picked up a gun to come and overthrow a government instead of eliminating him? Banned, B-A-N-N-E-D, banned, go. You are banned, you go out, and be stay there in the cold. Let's embrace a younger man. Let's be prodigal. Let's have more prodigal sons coming back to AU. Look at what we did in West Africa. We gave these people a chance, my sister, to form their own organization. They are now in their own organization. They are broken away from ECOWAS. Why don't we embrace them, call them on table and say, we disagree with the military, but form a channel, form a transition towards a civilian rule.
So what will it mean for regional relations? You speak of that support as much as we talk of the stability within Mali, but regionally, how does this look?
Is it worse? Isn't it worse, my sister? Have you ever been to Nigeria? Can you travel 1 kilometer of a tarmac road before bandits abduct you? What makes it different with a state like that? I'm just asking, because we are talking to Africa now. These are facts. These are facts on ground. In Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, which borders Mali and Niger, you can't travel safely. You need several bodyguards. And when you have bodyguards, Boko Haram will come and kidnap you. So where's the state, which is calling itself a civilian elected democratic state of Nigeria? What is the difference? ECOWAS is funded by who? By France. France manages ECOWAS, pays money for their accommodation, salaries, projects. What is ECOWAS? What is ECOWAS? We make organizations in Africa and use them wrongly. ECOWAS has no money, my sister. ECOWAS gets money from France. And the money is got from Africa, from Burkina Faso, from Mali, from Niger, collected under uranium France sells, then gives us peanuts. Oh, Africa.
Okay, let's move to Gabon, Doctor. The new leader in Gabon, we were talking about this earlier, who was elected on Saturday. I mean, not elected, but inaugurated. Bruce Nguema had said that he wants to remove the position of Prime Minister from further administrations. He's now appointed 2 vice presidents. Is it why there are 2 vice presidents? Because there's no longer the position of Prime Minister in Gabon.
First of all, for me, I don't recognize that guy. There is a difference with me recognizing the guys in Sahel, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. I recognize them. Why? They are working for their people. The boy, that boy there, you call him leader. I don't call him a leader. This is a junta guy who just removed the uniform, and the African Union is playing with us, with our minds. He removed the uniform, no transition. He did not make a plan to the AU. He did not put us which type of election. He did not allow people to campaign. He just removed the uniform and a pistol. He walks around in going to visit other presidents with pistols, threatening them. When he just got it, when some of us got pistols in 1978, when he was not born even. So let me tell you frankly, speak frankly, there is nothing like, I'm waiting to see if African Union will recognize this guy. If you recognize this guy, then you recognize everybody. Because he just took power in 1 year, 2 years, removed his... The former head of state has not been allowed to go for medical treatment. And you people in South Africa, Ramaphosa will come to African Union to sit and vote for this. I call him a goon. He's a goon in Gabon. He's not a leader. He's not a leader. I can't. Do I need to go to Gabon for what?
Well, okay, but I mean, either way, for the purposes of this conversation, we do have to talk about his cabinet that he's named, whether you recognize him or not.
Let's talk about
let's talk about that. So, Doctor, it's gone to 30 members now, that cabinet, down from 35 under the transitional military government. What do you make of this cropping?
It is a very bad. It is again doing the same thing like Bongo did. What is the difference here? He's bringing in cronies from the army, former generals, former technical class who work with France. Why hasn't the coup? Why wasn't the coup condemned by France? Why? Ask. You younger generation in Africa, wake up and ask questions. Why is that coup not condemned like the coup in Burkina Faso? Because the coup in Burkina Faso is different. I am looking at the Commonwealth, which we have just... I campaigned so hard for Madame from Ghana to get that seat. And she's not going to take this nonsense. If Gabon is allowed in the Commonwealth, I will tell Uganda to remove itself from the Commonwealth. If Nigeria continues to be in the Commonwealth, we have to go back to those days when these organizations were biting it, ladies and gentlemen, across Africa. If you misbehave, Abacha misbehaved, we kicked him out of Commonwealth. Why are we allowing people with blood on their hands, like a Paul Biya, like a Gabon man, like a Nigeria, to be in the Commonwealth or African Union? Why? Time has come for us to rethink. He can appoint 30 ministers, 200 ministers, still remains a lion, a leopard. That has not changed the spot.
30% of the cabinet is made up of women leadership. Do their positions reflect a real potential for them to be able to make influence, in your view?
On the women, that's okay. Because he even took over his friend's wife. So is there a difference? You want me to tell you that that's okay for women positions. But this is a man who has shown you that he even took over the former president's wife. Yes. So what type of manners are these? It's good to appoint women in positions. My sister, when we are talking to the world, let's talk frankly. Let's change Africa. One of the problems that people fear in Africa to speak is to tell the truth. They tell lies. And then they go to church and they say, God help us. How will God help you when you have already made too many lies? Let's speak the truth. This man took over power, even was interested in the man's wife. Everybody knows he never detained the wife. He took over the wife, called the wife, because he had detained the brother who is the president. How do presidents in Africa feel when a democratically elected president is in jail and somebody takes over your wife? And then you tell me, as I appointed 3 women, oh what? I'm not from Gabon. I'm from a part of Africa. I stand high, and I'm a Pan-African. At this age, I am not going to fear Ramaphosa, to fear anybody, to fear Tinubu, to be, I tell them, because we're in the same age bracket, we are going home. God is going to call us, man. We are going home. We have to leave a better Africa for the younger generation. Let's proceed.
Let's proceed to Ghana then, Doctor. The country is battling human trafficking there. Police have arrested 2 suspected traffickers and 33 people were rescued in that operation. This is part of a partnership between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. How did this partnership come about, first of all?
Human trafficking is a bad sign for every Africa, an African country. And in the international law, is not allowed. The UN Charter is very clear on human trafficking. It is true. There is something wrong going on in those states, especially the states around the Sahel region. People are exported, they go, you find so many people on the ships in Dakar, in Senegal, and so many crossing over to Sahara into Mediterranean Sea. But the cooperation with which state? Ghana is an English-speaking state. Cote d'Ivoire is a French puppet colony that still remains on the continent of Africa, with Ouattara taking over Cote d'Ivoire when he's from Burkina Faso. Everybody knows the record where he was born. He's not from there. So for me, whatever Ouattara does, again, my sister, I'm not interested. We were the last people with Thabo Mbeki to leave that airport when we were begging the French not to allow Cote d'Ivoire to go to chaos. So the human trafficking, stopping of it is very good. It's something that we should allow the Ghanaian government and their government in Cote d'Ivoire for working on to stop our brothers being killed on seas, trafficked. You saw a case in London of a Ugandan judge who was sentenced to 6 years for human trafficking a lady from Uganda and putting her under slavery. We have a problem here in Africa. So human trafficking is condemned. Yeah. So that's the only thing I can give a credit to Cote d'Ivoire. The rest, if you ask me, I can fall in the Atlantic Ocean.
Let's talk about the fact that we've been looking at making cross-border movements easier and more economically viable for ourselves as Africans. How will this now contribute to some who may fear that as we make cross-border movements easier, it also enables the criminals to move freely in between countries with those who are being exploited. What could we do to remove this fear?
I think you are on this one. You are 100% correct. How do we make this fear go away? First, we must tighten national laws. We must put institutions. We must not subject institutions into private corrupt systems. Why South Africa has visas on many other countries, including my own country, is because we misuse this type of entry. Most of the countries in Africa misuse when you are told, go to Ghana. For example, Ghana, if you're a black man, a black woman with an African passport, the immigration officer will look at you, smile at you, and stamp. He will not ask you why you came. He will not ask you to pay any money. So one of the reasons in Ghana, there are institutions. Ghanaian institutions is one of the countries second to South Africa that work. In elections. They don't fight. They don't throw stones like my country, Uganda, where the opposition leader is waiting to throw stones even when he has lost. So to remove this fear, we must have good institutions, national institutions, to check on those who want to do trafficking.
Yes.
But it should not stop us from integrating. If we're
completely out of time, Dr. Matsanga. We'll leave it on that point, and thanks again for your input this Wednesday.
Thank you very much. God bless you. I've tried my level best, and I hope I've not, even if I have annoyed you, it is not my problem. It is not, you are not God.
God bless you as well, Dr. Matsanga. We appreciate your time. We have a look at West Africa region in terms of stories making headlines there, and we were joined on the line by political analyst Dr. David Matsanga. We're completely out of time, so we have to rush to news headlines. Good morning, Onel Nzinzi.
SABC News. Headlines. The African Perspective.